Hello, everybody. My name is Andrea Horton-Reichley. I'm the Workforce Skills Manager at Literacy Pittsburgh. Thank you for joining us today for the Triangle Tech online presentation with Daniel Carmichael, one of the admissions representatives at Triangle Tech. He will explain a lot about what Triangle Tech has to offer and the financial, how much each program costs and admission requirements, and answer any questions you may have. With that, I will let Daniel start speaking, and I'm going to mute myself and turn off my camera.
All right. Okay, I hope everyone's doing well today. As Andrea said, my name is Dan Carmichael. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share my screen, and then we're going to take a little bit of a look at a presentation we have developed. So this presentation, you're going to see here, it is, okay. It is mainly to talk about what Triangle Tech is, what we do, specifically our school, but also to give you information on post-secondary career and technical schools. So if you're not super familiar with what that term is or what it means, a career and technical school is simplified basically as being a school that focuses on one type of career path. So in Pennsylvania, we're really lucky. We have a lot of schools that are throughout the state, and more importantly, around the Pittsburgh area, so you don't have to go too far away. And there are actually over 200 different career and technical schools out there, specializing in a wide range. You have schools for cosmetology, culinary, business, arts, medical fields, computers. And then you have schools that are specifically set up for the trades, which is what Triangle Tech specializes in. Now, when you are actually looking at these schools, you're going to realize that they provide benefits to you that not every other type of school will. So some of the bigger benefits that we're seeing right now is you're getting training in fields that have critical shortages, which for the most part just means that there are a lot of jobs out there that exist in these fields, and they are in incredibly high demand right now. You also get a lot of hands-on learning, which I would say is probably the number one thing that sets our school apart from a lot of other ones, is the fact that you are going to be doing more hands-on work every single day in your classroom. You're also going to get a high return on your investment. If you're not entirely sure what that means, basically it is that the money you take, that you put into your education, your schooling, your tuition, right, that's an investment, okay? So you want to know that the investment you're making, you'll get back at some point. And you get that back with your career and the salary that you're receiving. And these schools are able to provide that to you, one, because you're not in school for as long. Their programs are often shorter, which you see the next bullet point there. You get to graduate into your job market normally in 2 years' time or less. And two, these schools don't often cost as much as that typical 4-year schooling because it is shorter and you don't actually have as many classes to take. Now, one big thing we're seeing right now is it's pretty concerning. Construction companies nationwide are having trouble finding qualified workers. And the percentage that we're seeing that for is 70%. Right? So like I said, that's troubling because there are tons of jobs out there, not as many qualified workers. And that actually creates something called a skills gap. Now, that's something Mike Rowe likes to talk about. If you're not familiar with who Mike Rowe is, you can Google him. He is a huge advocate for the trades industry. He's on a TV show called Dirty Jobs. He just does a lot of different work within the trades. And he said currently there are 7 million jobs that are open, a vast majority of them not requiring a 4-year degree. So there are lots of opportunities out there that aren't always necessarily talked about, and those would be your opportunities within the trade schools. Now, when it comes to actually looking at these schools and understanding how to prepare for them and what to look for, a big thing to focus on are your STEM fields. So science, technology, engineering, math. We focus pretty heavily on math within the trades. That's one thing you will not get away from in any of these careers. It's a lot of geometry, algebra, trig. It's not going to be super advanced like calculus or anything like that, but it is something that you'll see in day-to-day life in these fields. Also, any chances you've had to attend different vo-tech schools, more hands-on schools that can cater to these different trade industries, that can be a big help. Going out and observing jobs in these fields to actually understand whether or not that's something that you want to continue on with yourself, that can be a big help. And then finally, you want to tour your post-secondary career and technical school options. Now, when you are choosing the right school, What's important to do is to research it. Go there, take a tour. You want to look at the labs, ask if you can sit in on a class or two. One thing that we like to do for any students that are interested in our school is called a class audit, where essentially what it is you'll come into our school, you'll sit through a class, and then you can spend an hour, you can spend the entire day with us, just to see what it's like to be there, what our atmosphere is like. You can get to check out our equipment that way as well. When it comes to asking questions, a big question to ask: what are the school's completion rates? What are their placement rates? How many students enroll? How many graduate? How many get placed in their careers? That shows you how successful a school is. That's something you really want to know. You also want to talk to the admission reps, right? Any questions you have about getting into the school, get them answered, and then meet with financial aid reps. When you're meeting with financial aid, they're going to talk to you about FAFSA, whether it's grants, loans, scholarships, or even potential credit for credit transfers that you may have had from possibly high school classes or any types of classes you may have taken out of high school. When it comes to applying at these schools, right, once you take that tour and you figure out that that is the right choice for you, then you'll register for your classes. And then once you're registering for your classes, you'll choose your start time. Now, a lot of schools will differ in their start times, when they're set up, how many they have. So some are going to have 2. That's probably the most common one. A lot of times that's going to be fall or spring. We have 3 at our school, and those start times for us are June, October, and February. So we allow the students to choose what start time you want, right? So even if, say for instance, right now you're looking at our school and you say, I want to join, you don't have to necessarily pick from the June one because it's the next one. You could say, I want to wait till February. I want to put it off for a little bit longer to save up some money. So you have that option. As far as the admission requirements go, this will be different from school to school as well. So with Triangle Tech, all we require is that you have your high school diploma or a GED, right? You do not need your SATs or your ACTs to come in, but some schools will look for that. They'll require it, and they want to see what your scores are. Other schools might have entrance exams or essays or even interview processes. So you do want to be aware of that when you're researching these schools, so you know exactly how to plan for it and what you need to get in. When you look at the classes, you're also going to realize that the class sizes are smaller, right? And there's a reason that these schools have small class sizes. One of them is that you get a lot of personal attention that way. So it makes it easier for you to learn. If you have questions, you get them answered faster. Another reason is, especially within the trades, some of these fields are dangerous. So if you overload a class with too many people, right, that can be a dangerous scenario. So we like to keep it smaller for the safety reasons as well. We average at our school about 10 to 15 students per class. We have a limit set at 25. We'll never have more than 25 people in a class. Also, a majority of your classes will be in your chosen field. And I think that's probably one of the biggest benefits to going to a career and technical school is it really fine-tunes your education and focuses on one type of thing. So you won't have as many liberal arts classes. Like we do away with English, history, and science. So you're going to have more of the hands-on classes, more theory pertaining to that actual subject you're learning about. And then also attendance is really important. Attendance is one of the biggest things we look for in our students. You have to be in class to make sure that we know what you're doing and that you're doing it correctly. So we have an attendance policy in place. You have to be there for 85% or more of your classes, which doesn't really sound completely unattainable, but we do have people that struggle. And if that happens, we make sure to reach out and figure out what's happening to get you on the correct path to be able to come in through school, graduate, and get your degree whenever you get out. Now, when you do graduate, depending on the type of school you're at, how long you're there, what the classes are that you're learning about, and how many credit hours you get, you can receive a few different things at graduation. Some schools will be a diploma, some will be a certificate, others might be an associate degree. Through Triangle Tech, with any of the 5 programs that we offer, you receive your associate degree in specialized technology, right? So that is a 16-month program, which you're going to get a 2-year degree in a little bit less than a year and a half time. And we do that by fast tracking it, taking out all those liberal arts classes, those elective courses, and really focusing on the one thing that you're there to learn about. Now, the next slide I have for you is a video. This video is going to be some of our recent graduates talking about their experiences through the program, what they thought of the school, and what they're doing since they've graduated.
Triangle Tech's a very well-known school, known for its welding and fabrication. I had cousins that went to school there and are still working in the welding field today. Well, I didn't know how to weld at all before I went to Triangle Tech. They taught me a lot, pretty much everything. They gave me a good base of everything to know. And the experiences that I had at Triangle Tech were very, very good. The teachers there were phenomenal. They went over how to interview, what questions to ask at an interview, different scenarios of an interview. When the companies would come in, you could go back and talk to your teacher if you wanted about the companies, and they would, give you an idea of what to expect. That's how I got my job here.
Whenever I got out of the military, I needed a job trade to go to, and I seen the Triangle Tech commercial. I wanted something that I could rely on as far as a career, rather than something dangerous like going into law enforcement. So I was gone 4 years from the military, wasn't used to the classroom style of anything, and they were able to adjust with not only younger students straight out of high school, but people who already had prior careers that were already used to the workforce, and then being able to adapt back into the classroom kind of environment.
I'm an adult, so I like to take care of myself and not rely on other people. Being able to transition from being a student into a job means that I can take care of myself, pay my own rent, pay my own bills, and get to work. I've gotten several job offers. Clemens Food Group had the most to offer out of all of them. It was important to me to get a degree because I would like to have some form of advanced training. And in the direction that the country and the entire world is headed, automation is going to be the industry of tomorrow.
I wanted to find a school that didn't just teach me how to swap out a part. I wanted a school that could teach me, why did this part fail? What went wrong here? How do we correct this?
I like working with my hands. So I used to work on dirt bikes a lot, doing like troubleshooting with electrical problems. So with the furnace, you have a lot of electrical stuff. With an AC, you have a lot of electrical. I wanted to do something where I could always have a job and still do what I like.
I was a chef before this. I started taking classes because I'm a do-it-yourselfer. I didn't know anything about welding, and I started welding in school. I really enjoyed it. I loved it. Told my wife I'm going to make a career change, and here I am today, and I love it.
Came here from healthcare. I spent 10 years working in the hospital. Just wanted to change pace, and been working here ever since I graduated from Triangle Tech.
I graduated in October, and I almost instantly got a job.
About a month from graduation, I got a call from the career advisor because he found an opening at CMI Energy. And so the next week I went there, and the week after that I had a job offer.
My goal for my career is to find myself in my own business making pediatric prosthetics.
All right. So those were some of our recent graduates. Now, to just touch specifically on Triangle Tech and what we do, who we are, we were founded in 1944. We started off in Pittsburgh as a drafting school. So that's all we did was drafting. And then that eventually turned into CAD, computer-aided drafting and design. And then on top of that, we incorporated 4 other programs to the school, as well as expanding into 6 different locations. So we are still located in Pittsburgh. We're in the north side on Perrysville Avenue. We've also gone into Greensburg, Du Bois, Thunbury, Bethlehem, and also Chambersburg, which we just opened up this past year. Now, we are nationally accredited by the ACCSC. One big thing I stress is that if you are considering going to a career technical trade school, make sure you find out whether or not that school is accredited, by who, and what that really means to them. For us, we're accredited through that Accrediting Commission of Career Schools and Colleges. That is a very big deal for us. What they do is every couple of years, they assess our school. They look to see how many students are enrolling, graduating, and also finding jobs in their specific field. So we've been accredited for over 40 years. So we have been very successful in maintaining all the numbers that they are looking for. And we've also received awards for School of Distinction as well as School of Excellence. 2 years ago, Forbes magazine released their first ever list of top 30 trade schools in the entire country. We're very proud to have been selected onto that list as well. Now, the 5 programs that we have, like I said, we started off as a drafting school. We still have our CAD program, but we've also incorporated additive manufacturing and 3D printing. We have maintenance, electricity, and construction, carpentry and construction, refrigeration, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and welding and fabrication. Now, like I said, each one of those fields, it would be 16 months to complete the courses and then graduate with that associate degree. Now, the next slide I have is another video. It's about 8 minutes long. It's going to talk more in depth about what each one of these are. So if you're not familiar with these terms, exactly what they are, what we do there, the people in this video are our instructors, and they're going to kind of walk you through what goes on semester to semester in each one of these classes. Now, they are separated in different chunks, so you will get to see a specific section, every probably about 2 minutes. Make sure you pay attention to the background, because that is going to tell you a lot about what our classrooms look like, the tools we're using. Just gives you a better idea of what we're working with at the school.
Carpentry, I think, is one of the best trades out there because they know more about the project than anybody else.
We need more carpenters. We can't find them. So every time I see somebody thinking about school, I say, hey, we'll make you a good carpenter.
There are less and less skilled workers out there in the industry. And a lot of our local contractors are looking for workers that are skilled. It saves time on their end training somebody that already has the training that we give them here.
We teach you everything from floor framing, wall framing, roof framing, and then once you make it the 4th term, we bring you into more meticulous things like cabinet making, project management, estimation, and things like that.
We teach them how to price things, how to figure out labor, contract writing. If they become a crew leader or a foreman as they start to grow in their field, they're going to be hand in hand with contracts and specifications. They got to know how to read them. We cover not only the trade aspects of it, which is how to build it and how to estimate it, but we also get into how to run the job.
I've been welding 20 years. I've yet to be unemployed.
Why the welding career is so big now is because most of the baby boomers are retiring.
Guy told me years ago, he said, the economy's good, you build it. The economy's bad, you fix it.
We started everybody out as if they've never done anything in welding, build their skills from there.
We covered the fundamentals of arc welding, blueprint reading, metallurgy.
They touch on everything they could basically get in the field. We do plasma, we do stick welding, we do MIG, flux core, all the fabrication processes we do.
Certified welders are a very elite group of people. A very small percentage of the workforce is actually a certified welder.
You cannot get a job of any consequence without being certified.
There's a lot of businesses out there that wants a experienced welder. They don't want to have to train somebody from the start.
Right now, all the trades are in desperate need. Revac is in particular need. There's a crisis. People have not entered the field in numbers for a long time, and it's an aging group.
The revac industry is just growing. A lot of guys are retiring. There's going to be a big demand for this career.
We start our students off in basic residential, refrigerators, window air conditioning, dehumidifiers. They got to start with that foundation on the refrigeration cycle. Second term, we step them up into the commercial end of it and also the electronics end as well, because with technology, our equipment's leading that way. All of our equipment now has electronic boards and so forth in, so they need to know the electronics aspect of it. Third term, now we get them into the heating and the air distribution. Gas furnaces, oil furnaces, heat pumps, hot water and steam systems. We show them how to build the ductwork so we can distribute that throughout their homes as well.
In 4th term, they start to learn transport refrigeration, and they learn large commercial and industrial buildings.
We get into direct digital controls, pneumatics.
We start out with theory, and we take that theory and we start to apply it in real-time application so they understand the basis of what they're actually doing.
Some people really love hands-on. They want to take and crawl throughout a supermarket and find the leak. Other people prefer to work on a computer. We train you for all of them because really they're the same skill set, just with specialties added on to the end. You can't really outsource our program.
The electrical field is a really broad field to be in. The demand is very, very high.
You never get bored. There's always something new coming down the pike, and it's a career. It's not just a job you take for a year or two. It's a career that you can follow for the rest of your life.
I came here as a student not knowing anything at all about electricity. They took me to a point where I was able to go out and work in the field and then eventually come back here and teach it.
The electrical program gives you a little bit of each discipline in the electrical field. So we start off with the theory of electricity.
The first term is primarily a residential term where students learn about wiring up houses and all the NEC code regulations go with that.
First year, they learn the basics, series circuits, parallel circuits.
I teach them tools and safety, construction site safety. I teach them about communication systems. Communications are telephone, data, and added to this class this term, we're going to be going into fire alarm systems.
The second term is a lot of theory about motors and transformers. For example, if you wanted to go work in an industrial environment like a factory.
We do commercial circuit design. We do AC motors, DC motors, generators, alternators. We move into the OSHA requirements, the construction site safety, which is very in-depth.
Then we get a third term, we teach them power distribution, which is from substation to the final product. And then from there, they go into PLCs, which is more logic oriented.
The PLC program here is basically about manufacturing. How to be able to go into a factory and work as a maintenance electrician, or eventually working your way up to becoming a programmer of the machinery that produces, parts and goods.
You can go through the books and you can learn everything in those books. If you've never gone out and wired this stuff up yourself, troubleshoot problems that occur, then you don't really know what's going on usually.
CAD is the starting ground for all different specialized fields.
Everything that is ever physically made has had a drawing created somewhere.
When the students first come on board at Triangle Tech, they're brought into just the fundamentals of drafting, with the traditional drafting equipment, your parallel bars, T-squares, triangles, compasses, protractors, things of that nature.
First term, the group that I'm working with currently, working with office programs, transitioning into an initial CAD understanding.
From there, we build the program on top of that. They're introduced then to 2D CAD with AutoCAD.
As we move on into the other terms, we expand upon the CAD program and into some more complex programs that offer mechanical and architectural background.
The work they do here is a real world experience. When they leave here, they're fully prepared to step in and start a job.
Triangle Tech made the decision to put additive manufacturing into our CAD program because it's really an innovative technology, has really opened up the design world to create more complex structures, more advanced products, and we really felt that it was important to bring that type of technology into our program. Our students have created simple projects like keychains up to more complex projects like jigs and fixtures that would be used in manufacturing.
It's everything from making new roller skates to automotive parts. We can 3D print an internal combustion engine.
They're building houses. They're working towards 3D printers that will manufacture bridges.
We're really pulling them into the modern era where this technology is everywhere. Everybody is using it, and we're giving it to our students.
There really is no limit for what the students can do with this education.
All right. So that gave you, hopefully, a better understanding on what our programs are, what they mean, what we do at the school. Now, a big question we typically get when it comes to the trades, and specifically the programs that we offer, are what do the salaries look like? So what you're going to see here is one number and then a set of numbers. The first one, this is the average starting salary for each of our programs for the Pittsburgh campus. So for CAD, our students are starting out around $34,000 a year, and that's right out of school. Now in the US, once you go into one of these types of trade industries like CAD, you can range anywhere from 33 upwards of 80,000. Our electricians from Pittsburgh are starting out making around 32, and that US salary range is 32 to 94. Our carpenters are coming out around 28. That US range is 28 to 82. Our revac techs are around 32.3, with that range being 28 to 63. And then our welders are around 31.6. That range is also 28 to 63 there. Now, to give you a side-by-side of each of the 5 programs we have, this is showing you the median annual U.S. salaries for each of those 5 programs. Now, that's not your highest, not your lowest. That's just kind of right in the middle. And this is taking into account every single person in these industries. So it's not people that have associate degrees. It's not people with no education in the field. It's taking everyone into account. So there is a good chance that having that associate degree will hopefully get you to these numbers pretty quickly and give you the advantage to hopefully go well beyond that within your career. Now, I brought up financial aid earlier to talk a little bit more in depth about our specific financial aid program that we have. We do set up personal appointments with anyone that would like to come into the school and take a tour and just get an idea for what the financial aid looks like. In that financial aid appointment, it's one-on-one. You meet with that rep, and they're going to talk to you about your budget, how much the program costs, make sure there aren't any surprises in that financial aid, and they'll actually help you fill out your FAFSA paperwork. Now, we also work with an interest-free payment plan that we can talk to you about. We are a yellow ribbon school as well, which means that we do work with the military and all their education benefits that they have. On top of that, the biggest thing I recommend to everyone I talk to is if you're coming into our school, look for some scholarships. There are tons of scholarships out there for a wide range of things, whether they're trade-related or not. Take some time to apply for them if they fit to you. We do offer our own scholarship through Triangle Tech. If you apply for it, you have to be coming into our June semester. But all it takes to apply for that scholarship and receive it is 2 letters of recommendation and a 250-word essay on why you want to go into this type of program. Now then, there's a scholarship selection board that will review all the scholarships that come in, and they select the winners. That's an outside group that we bring in. And if you win, that scholarship covers 25% of your entire tuition. So definitely something I recommend anyone that's considering the program to look into and apply for. Ask us about it. We'll give you the application for it. These are some of our past scholarship winners. What we like to do is whoever wins, we will make sure we present the award to you, wherever it's at. If it's in our school, we'll present it there. We like to post those pictures on our social media sites just to give you some extra recognition. Finally, what I want to talk to you today about is our career advising. So just like financial aid, we're very hands-on through this process. Our main goal as a school, obviously, is to give you an education, but we don't want to just end it there and then ship you off on your own. We want to make sure that you are able to be successful and find a career in that specific field. So we do offer job placement assistance. We also have a class called Job Communications. Every single student is required to take it to graduate. And what that class does is it talks to you about your cover letters and your resume, how to write them, how to make them look professional, what information you need, what you don't. We also go over interview skills. And we'll actually set up mock interviews with outside companies that come in so that you can go through that full process and know how to answer questions, know how to present yourself, how to dress. And then we help you set up real interviews. So we'll work with a lot of different companies. If you want to stay within Pennsylvania, you can. We've built up a ton of different relationships throughout the whole state, but we've also set up these relationships throughout the entire country. We've had students graduate and go out to California, Texas, Florida, across the whole country. So if you want to be able to get an education, but still be able to have the freedom to move somewhere different, you have that opportunity, and then we can actually help you out in finding these companies that are out there. Now, in order to keep our accreditation, we do have to maintain a minimum placement rate. So that is something else that we are able to maintain. That rate is 70%, and that is for each one of our programs. So we do maintain that. We are very successful in helping our students find careers. And then the other one bullet that I want to talk about is the continuous placement. We will help you at any point in time in your career. As long as you were a graduate of Triangle Tech, you will always be considered a student with us. So, maybe 5 years out of school, you don't like what you're doing or where you're at, you can come back in. We'll sit down with you all over again and make sure that if you have any questions, we get them answered. If you want to look into different career paths in these industries, we'll help you out with that as well. So again, you earn that associate degree in just 16 months' time. Like I said, it is a very fast-paced program, but we start from the ground up and we give you everything we can possibly give you in these fields to be able to graduate and be successful. Now, we do post daily on all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have a ton more videos on our YouTube page. If you want to learn more about the school and the programs, check out that. You can get a lot of good information on there. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can go on our website, triangle-tech.edu. You can call us. You can text us. Any information you're looking for, we'd be happy to help you out in finding if you aren't able to locate it on our website. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, but I'm going to pull up a website for you all. I'm going to toss it in the chat box here. And this website that I have is going to link to a way for you to sign up for some information on Triangle Tech. So it's actually pretty easy to find from our website. If you go to our website, Triangle-Tech, it's called the Career Readiness Quiz. This actually just links you to what's called our virtual advisor. And that's the link I'm going to place here in the chat box right now. So there it is. If you do want to learn more about the school and sign up, to be on our text list or email, mail list, you can go on that link and fill it out. But does anyone have any questions for me? I see we have about 8 minutes left here. I'd be happy to answer any questions we have.
So Nikki, you're on mute right now, but what program are you, did you want to learn more about that prompted you to come to watch this Triangle Tech presentation? I'll unmute you. Oh, it's not letting me unmute her. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. We can.
Can't talk right. The computer program.
Okay.
The drafting.
Cool. Do you have any questions about it?
What exactly is it?
So it is the computer-aided drafting part of it. It's essentially drafting is designing blueprints. So any structure that's ever been worked on requires some type of blueprint design. So we teach you all the basics of it, whether it's drawing them by hand and then integrate it into the computer side of it. But it also gets a little bit more advanced too with the additive manufacturing and 3D printing. So it's not just making blueprints. It'll be designing things on a computer, being able to print them out, see what they look like firsthand. And that's something that it's a very up-and-coming technology in the trade industry that we just about a year and a half ago added into our curriculum, just because we're seeing that it's creating a lot more avenues for our students to get hired by some companies around the area.
Because I had a meeting with someone from Triangle Tech this morning too, and I told her, I said, I can't draw a stick figure to save my life.
And you don't have to be super artistic when it comes to the CAD part of it, because it is a lot of more technical type drawings. You're using rollers, and it's almost more of like a math and science type of drawing than a freehand picture draw.
Right.
And then we do also teach it on the computer as well. So if you're someone who's good with computers, also, that'd probably be a little bit easier for you to grasp on there too.
Because like I expressed to her, I said, I had an IEP in school, and I said, my concern is, am I gonna be able to do it? And how accelerated are these classes? And she couldn't answer that question for me.
They can be accelerated. What we try and do is we make sure our instructors allot 2 hours each day where they come to class early and they stay late, so that if you need additional assistance, they're able to help you out. And the nice thing about the CAD program is we typically only ever have, I'd say, anywhere from 3 to 10 students join every semester. So it does give you a lot more hands-on time with the instructors to actually be able to work with you and help you out. What I'd recommend is we're only doing virtual classes right now. When we start up our physical classes, come in for a class audit if you have some time during the day, and that'll give you a better idea of what goes on in the day-to-day, and you can actually talk to the instructors and get a better idea for how comfortable you'd feel in that type of program.
Because like I tried cosmetology school, and the best way that I can describe it was we were taught something on a Monday and quizzed on a Thursday. And I told her, I said, I can't comprehend it that quick.
Right.
So my concern is this: am I going to be able to do it? And if I can't, what options do I have?
Right. No, I hear you. Yeah. So like I said, I mean, the best way is just going to come in and just get an idea in first person of how the classes are set up. I know with the CAD program, it is a lot of work at your own pace, but we do have deadlines set where we'll have a project. We'll say, you need to be able to do this and this, and then it might be in 2 weeks that project will be due. But we are, there to help you out and check in on you as much as you need to make sure that everything is getting done properly.
And what's the dress code? Because I asked her that too, and she couldn't really answer the question.
So for the CAD program, it's more or less casual. Most of our students, they wear jeans. Some of them will wear shorts. For any of the other programs, it's basically required that you're wearing jeans, steel-toe boots. But with CAD, you aren't really getting too into anything messy. It is a lot more sit down at a desk computer type work. And if you might have some days where you're out surveying, land, if that's the case, that would probably be a day to where make sure you have closed-toed shoes on, things like that. But the CAD is a lot more of a relaxed atmosphere.
Now, would that be appropriate career path for someone who's not really good with people? Like I myself will tell you flat out, I hate people, they suck. So I mean, is it like half and half, like you're dealing with people but you're dealing with computers too?
You might have some careers where you could be dealing with people. I know, for instance, carpenters work with blueprints all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you might design something and then they might say, oh, hey, we need this to be fixed or this to be edited or changed because we can't build it.
Right.
So in that instance, you'd be working with people, but it's not that much. You will a lot more times be working on a computer and actually doing the design process of it. Yeah, so that hopefully that answers the question there.
Yeah, you might have to deal with a client every now and then.
Yeah.
I mean,
ordering
I know
something.
it sounds bad, like me saying it, like how I did, but like, for example, like when I had my meeting earlier and I told her, I said, because of the pandemic, you would think people would be nicer, and it's the exact opposite. And that's what I've encountered.
Yeah.
So, Nikki, why don't you put your email in the chat so I can email you Dan's contact information? Because we are only have 2 minutes left, and I'm afraid that we might not be able to answer all your questions. So if you can go to the chat box, perfect. Okay, so I won't say it since this is being recorded, but I see it. So thank you. So I'll email you Dan's email. I'll do a email. Well, you guys already met each other, but I'll send you his contact information so you have it. So bouncing off what one of Nikki's questions was, Dan, if any student is unable to finish at Triangle Tech, do those classes transfer to another school? Like if they decided to?
That would depend on the school they'd be looking at. So we do have some math classes, trig, geometry, algebra. Some of those can transfer into another associate degree program. For the most part, all the other ones are very specialized to the industry that we work within. So it depends on what you'd be looking at another school. But if you got your full degree, we do work with a couple different 4-year schools where you can transfer credits in and get bachelor's degrees from that.
Okay, and we're running a little low on time, but you guys are on a bus route and have your own free student parking, correct?
We have, it's free street parking, and then we also have a paid security lot as well.
Oh, okay.
So there is a lot of street parking, but if you wanted to be in a safer area, you can pay to park there.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to close it up because I don't want it to get cut us off. So thank you so much, Daniel, for this online presentation. And Nikki, thank you so much for attending. This session is recorded and it will be put on our students Padlet site. And I'll email you that link as well, Nikki. Okay, and I'll also email it to you.
All right.
Thank you so much. And hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Definitely.